there's going to be 60-mile-an-hour winds later today. Yeah, it's quite windy. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about the wonders of the Tesla Model 3 production announcement. That's probably the easiest way of describing it. Basically, the Q4 2016 Tesla Motors results are in, which is always an interesting read or listen, if you actually listen to the webcast or not. And the biggest news out of that is that Tesla Model 3 production is on target to start in July of this year. Now that's just initial production. They're expecting it to ramp up reasonably sort of in a normal S-curve, which is what they tend to do. So it'll be quite slow for a month or two, and then it'll really start getting going in the fourth quarter of 2017. And I really do hope that this wind isn't going to do any serious damage around here. I need to sort those bins out before I go. I'd go out and sort them now, but the reality is they just blow over again anyway. Okay, that's my editing done for the day. Slowly I'm catching back up with it, which is awesome. Now, as I didn't run yesterday, I think I really better today. Time for some exercise. Indoor running shoes, also known as the old ones, because the running machine is more cushioned. And when you go outside, I want the maximum cushioning possible, because I do like my knee joints. Jasper. Yeah, I really should have put the dead cat on my other camera's mic. Sounds like the place is going to come down. Better not. Yeah, it's quite windy still.
I know.
It's a bit windy, isn't it? Brilliant. So, Tesla Model 3. It's actually going to turn up more or less on time, if Tesla is to be believed. And I think in this particular case, they are genuinely to be believed. July 2017, the first production models are going to be rolling off the production line, but they do take their time to begin with so that they can iron out any bugs that they find. They're expecting to ramp production quite rapidly in that fourth quarter. And this is all news that's come out in the fourth quarter 2016 financial results and the associated earnings call with the analysts. Very interesting. I highly recommend those. Fundamentally, everything seems like it's in place for a fairly rapid ramp in order to start hitting, well, I think it was 5,000 cars a week they were aiming at for some point before the end of the year. And then they're hoping to hit something like 10,000 cars a week by the midpoint of 2018, which basically translates into about 500,000 Model 3s a year. At that rate, they'll get the wait time right down and they'll be able to satisfy the demand, which I'm quite sure is going to be out there. I'm very excited, except for one small problem, which is nobody's talking about right-hand drive at all yet. They're all just focused on getting those left-hand drive cars out. Soph will almost certainly have to wait at least another year, if not year and a half, because she doesn't have a reservation. I could always put a reservation in, which would be quite handy, because as I own a Model S already, I would get to sort of queue jump a little bit, which doesn't really seem fair. If you look briefly at the Tesla financials, which I'm just going to throw in there because they were also on the call, although nobody was really listening to that bit much, well, I wasn't. Revenue came in a bit above analysts' expectations at 2.28 billion for the year, and the earnings per share were a bit down on what people might have hoped at 78 cents loss. The business is losing money, or rather it is investing it en masse in getting to the point where it can produce huge quantities of reasonably affordable EVs with long range and exciting features like self-driving. In a lot of ways, I've got to say, the future is bright. Food's in the oven. I've literally got 2 minutes before I have to go down, take it out, sort it all. What I'm probably going to do maybe tomorrow, I haven't quite worked it out, is do more of a sort of comprehensive review of what's been going on in the world of EVs over the last couple of weeks, because there's been lots of interesting news and I haven't had really the time I'd like in order to cover it all off. I've turned over the fish fingers, it's all good. So I've got another 6 minutes now. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my Michelin star to turn up in the post. Any day now, any day. We'll put it on the about page of my YouTube channel. Soph's work at the moment is a little further away than we would ideally like, which is why we were looking at getting an EV. She's not around at dinner time, which means I'm gonna have to really buck my cooking ideas up. Because normally, she quite likes doing the cooking. And besides, it's not my forte. But I'm now gonna have to really up my skill level on that front. Yeah, in a lot of ways, I'm your typical modern man. You know, I look after the 3-year-old, try and keep the house clean, you know, try and bring in a little extra income with YouTube. But then, on the flip side, I am totally 100% useless when it comes to cooking. And that is something that is definitely gonna have to change. I need good cooking tips. Please leave them in the comment section below. And when I say good, I mean quick. I am very excited about the Model 3. Just generally as a car, I think it looks good. I think the performance and range that people are suggesting is good. I think the price is good for what is a more premium brand, certainly when it comes to EVs. And I have faith in the ability of Tesla to actually deliver an exciting product, exciting to drive, exciting to be in, and generally quite good quality as well. I say generally, because sometimes they do have their wobbles on the quality front. If 400,000 people are willing to put down a £1,000 deposit before they've ever had any kind of a test drive in this car, if the car matches up to people's expectations, Tesla is going to have no problem filling its order book for years to come, which is good, because I would quite like to see them take some of the profit from making these cars and actually reinvest it into different shapes. You know, it only seems like every week or two you see a new rendered, a coupe or a convertible, you know, lots of different designs of vehicles that people think Tesla should make. And I agree, I think they should. I think the problem that Tesla has is they just don't have the scale to have such a wide product portfolio at the moment. I think it would be advantageous to have a wider selection of possible shapes so that it can fit into people's lives in a bit of a better way. I think the Model X is a great car, but I do think some people are going to want to put a roof rack on it. Time for me to turn over the fish fingers again. This time I've only got 3 minutes before I have to do some vegetables. So it's going to have to be a really sort of short ending segment. So yes, lots of things I'd like to see from Tesla in the future, but I'm actually really happy with the progress they've been making, and it gives me some confidence with production numbers that they're sort of talking about, that if we do order one, when the right-hand drive cars eventually materialise, we should hopefully be able to get that order filled within a sort of 3-4 month period, which is sort of reasonable. It's not ideal, but it isn't off-puttingly bad. Of course, after a little while, there'll be inventory cars available and then certified pre-owned cars. So it will be possible to get one quite quickly down the line. I'm not sure about all that waiting. See, the problem with doing a large wait, especially if you're in a right-hand drive country, what will often happen is that updates will come along while you're waiting, and you may or may not benefit from them. You know, if your car goes into production and then they announce, oh look, we've got this fantastic widget that goes onto the Model 3 and makes it fly, could happen. You're just going to miss out on that. And it's kind of frustrating because you're waiting and then missing out. So I kind of, you know, and I kind of felt that way a little bit about the way it worked with autopilot for me the first time round, because I'd only had the car 2 months and autopilot was announced and released and people had it in their hands. And if I'd ordered my car 4 or 5 months later, I would have had half the wait time and the car would have arrived with autopilot. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm comfortable waiting to actually see what is Model 3, what it includes, what it doesn't. I hope you've all enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you don't already. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next installment of my daily vlog. Bye! Too windy for my camera. I think it's okay. Oh my word. We won't try that again.